All right, everybody, here's some help on that. Simplifying radical expressions, worksheet number 3. The front page there has some thinking questions. Again, just some to kind of get you working and putting together some of the concepts of square roots, things we've talked about in some of the other lessons. The first two, I'm not really going to explain much about these. First, actually, 3 kind of go together, okay? So as you look at those, it talks about number 1, number 2, and then what you notice in number 1 and 2. And I think if you again use a calculator, and it says down here use that Desmos scientific calculator, you should use it for the top ones as well, just because it's nice to enter something. And if you notice, you can hit return and you can enter something else, and then you can put both those things in and compare the answers very nicely. So if you weren't already, use that Desmos scientific calculator. It's awesome. Okay, it's really the best calculator I know out there. Okay, it's free and you can use it on your iPad, phone. It's excellent, okay? So use that to help you with 1 and 2, and then like it says also, in 3, obviously you'll answer the question. And then 4 and 5, just notice that there is a way, you have to look for the button, but there is a way to get in square roots and then get a little 3 right here, okay, up in, kind of like up in the nook there of the little square part, okay? So there's a way to get radical with a little 3 there. You figure that out, and if you can figure out if you have to use another calculator, but this one should be able to do it. Do it on there, and then see what you get for answers, and see if you can figure out what is going on with that little 3. Okay, what does that seem to mean for you? Okay, and same thing with number 5 down here. Again, they give you a number, and it hits in parentheses just to kind of emphasize the fact that this is a power. It's to the 1/2 power. Okay, you haven't seen much of that probably yet, but you can take things to a power that even if it's a fraction. And see what you think when you take all those to the 1/2 power. What do you get, and what does that seem to mean? Okay, but now get into the back side of the worksheet where you are actually rationalizing the denominator, practicing that skill we were working on today. Let me just start with even the first one, number 6 on the back side, okay? Again, this fraction, nothing really wrong with it. I mean, you could punch in 2 divided by the square root of 2 and you'd get an answer. But in simplest form, we usually do not have a square root in the denominator. So it's kind of it's again like writing 2 over 4, okay? So we can't do it. So we've got to rationalize the denominator. So we're going to multiply this fraction by a fancy form of 1. In this case, I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 2. I have to multiply by the same thing, otherwise I'm changing the number, right? Okay, this equals 1. That's why we can do it, okay? If you just multiply the bottom by the square root of 2 and the top by something else, you're not multiplying by 1 anymore. You're changing this number, whatever you would punch in the calculator, okay? So I can't do that. I've got to multiply like I'm doing here by square root of 2 over the square root of 2, okay? So let's see what we get. The bottom, square root of 2 times the square root of 2, as we talked about before in the lesson video. Hopefully you've watched that at this point. Square root would be the square root of 4, which is just 2. Again, that little rule, square root of 2 times the square root of 2 just gives you regular 2, okay? Which is kind of nice. And then on the top, 2 times the square root of 2, well, that's about all I can write there, okay? Now, in this case, if you wrote this as your final answer, again, you've done everything right, but there is a little more simplifying you can do, okay? Because take a look at that. 2 square root of 2 over 2. The 2's on the outside of the square root, and like the coefficients, as we can call them, right, or the constant on the bottom, like those I can reduce as well, okay? Again, imagine if you had 2x divided by 2, right? You could divide the 2's and they would kind of cancel out and become 1's, okay? It's the same thing up here. When the 2's in front of the square root, it's multiplied, and that means I can actually use it in reducing some of the things that are on the bottom, and especially if it's just a number by itself. So the 2's both kind of cancel out and become 1's, and all you're left with in this answer for this first one is the square root of 2. That's it. So for that problem number 6, it reduces all the way down to that. Once we do our rationalizing of the denominator, it even gets us to something even simpler than having a fraction, square root of 2, okay? That doesn't always happen, but it did on that first one, okay? Because of that, I'll just do the next one too, just to again keep you going on these. So 4 over square root of 3, so I'm going to have to multiply by a fancy form of 1 because I've got a square root in the denominator, okay? So I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3 because that really just equals 1. So I'm not really changing what this number is. I'm multiplying it by 1. It's just a fancy form of 1 that lets me do some more simplifying. When I do that, square root of 3 times square root of 3 on the bottom will just give me 3. So now I have a rational denominator. I've done what I've set out to do, okay? And then 4 times the square root of 3 will just be 4 square root of 3. And that's all I can do with that one, okay? I can't simplify the 3's because one's under the square root and one is not. So, nope, nothing I can do there. That actually is the end of that problem. Okay, I'll do one more in that top row just because, again, some of the first ones that we're doing were rationalizing the denominator, okay? Now, as we talked about, and there's a lot of different ways you can do these problems sometimes. Look at this one, 4 over the 52 square root, okay? Well, the first thing you could actually do with this one is you could just break it apart. Before even doing the rationalizing the denominator, I can break it apart into the top and bottom and do some simplifying right now. Square root of 4 is just 2, okay? And then also, even on the bottom, what you find out is square root of 52 can be broken down into 4 times the square root of 13. And there, what do you know, is another square root of 4. So I'm going to make that a 2 as well, okay? So I can just kind of reduce some of my numbers. If you went ahead and times the top and bottom by a square root of 52 right away, that would still be fine. You'd be able to get to the same final answer we're about to. You just have to deal with numbers that are a little bigger. So again, just look for, again, little things like this. Sometimes you can reduce things right off the bat if you got numbers that have perfect squares in them. So I'm going to have the 2 on top that we found up there. Okay, so this 2. And then on the bottom, I got 2 square root of 13. Okay, and right now, again, even at this point right here, I could times the top and bottom by the square root of 13, but why don't I just cancel out these 2's already? Okay, so again, keep your eyes open as you're going through this. It's always good, just, whatever you're getting as you go through the problem, and you get a fraction, and you get to the next step, and you have a fraction, and as you're looking through, always look for ways to simplify, things that you have done before. And here I see, I got a 2 on the top and the 2 on the bottom. Let's get rid of those, okay? Dunskies, those are out. And now what do I have left? 1 over the square root of 13. I still got to rationalize the denominator, so I still have to multiply by a fancy form of 1 here, which is square root of 13 over the square root of 13, but that totally works. That is just 1. And when I do that, okay, my answer is just going to be, on the top, I'm just going to get the square root of 13. On the bottom, I'm going to get 13. And that's as far as I can go because I can't reduce anymore. But that's our simplest form. Okay? Again, every step you go through, keep your eyes open for things that you know how to do. Okay? Things that you've done in the past. And just remember, there's more than one way often to an answer in these. I'll go through this number 12 really quick. Again, just to do maybe one with a variable now. Again, maybe I'll split it, first of all, into the top and the bottom, just because I do like to see it like that. And say, okay, there's my top, there's my bottom. Again, right now, let's say, okay, the other one, the problem I just did, number 9, I did some simplifying first. Let's say you didn't do that. Let's say right away you're just like, okay, let me get rid of the rational number, or the irrational number on the denominator. So I'm going to multiply right now by my fancy form of 1. Okay, yep, you can still totally do that. I'll multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 5, which is really just like multiplying by 1. Okay, I'm just going to bring it down here where I've got some more space. But what would I have in parentheses then? Well, then I have 2 times 5, I should say, in terms of the numbers on top. So I'd have 10 square root of x squared all over 5, because the square root of 5 times square root of 5 will just be 5. Okay, and then can I do any more in this one? Well, yeah, the x squared, square root of that will just be x. So I can bring that x out front. So x square root of 10 over 5, and I can't really do any more simplifying from there, but again, there's an example of if I just rationalize the denominator right away, you still can get to the right answer. Just you just got to keep working through, even if you simplify stuff first, or you just rationalize the denominator first. Both will work just fine. Okay, I'm not going to finish this one, but I'll just get you started as a little reminder on one of those ones at the bottom, 14 and 15. They both look kind of similar. Just remember when you're adding fractions, you guys, okay, if you already have common denominators, then that denominator just stays the same. I know we've been doing stuff with multiplying denominators on the other ones so far, but if you have common denominators, remember what you do is you keep the same denominator and you add the top. So this would be 10 over the square root of 5. Which again isn't your final answer because now you'll have to rationalize the denominator, but you can keep it going from there.